Put your hands together. Yeah. 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 Put your hands
What's up, Desert Rats? This is 5 on 20 News with Luke Goodhart.
And I'm Frank Powers. We're at Creative Tucson, downtown. In Tucson, it's Wednesday, July 12th. Let's talk local headlines.
Let's do it. Governor Doug Ducey said in an interview with KTAR that he is very concerned with how the GOP healthcare bill will affect the state of Arizona. Ducey said that he's discussed the legislation with Senators Jeff Flake and John McCain and doesn't want to see the rug pulled out from underneath residents of the state. The Republican bill seeks to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare. They are expected to reveal an amended version on Thursday after the original was shown to have only a 17% approval rating in the most recent polls. The bill would put the state's most vulnerable at risk because it allows insurers to charge higher rates for pre-existing conditions. The Congressional Budget Office found that at least 22 million people would lose their health insurance under the bill, not exactly what you want from healthcare legislation. Some Republicans support an effort to repeal Obamacare and replace it later. However, both McCain and Ducey have refused to support this method. In the interview, Ducey said that he doesn't like the bill the way it is now and thinks that it doesn't have a chance of passing either the House or the Senate. He said that he wants every Arizonan to have access to affordable health care. The funny thing is that we do have access to affordable health care with the Affordable Care Act.
And Doug Ducey will have plenty of time to think about the party's poor excuse for a health care bill when he travels to Rhode Island for the National Governors Association summer meeting next week. Ducey's office, scroll that faster. Ducey's office says that the governor will join a panel with Governors Terry McAuliffe of Virginia, Brian Sandoval of Nevada, and Gina Raimondo of Rhode Island. The panel will discuss trade activity and strategies for attracting foreign investments in a panel called States' Role in Trade in the Changing Environment. But it could just as well have been called How to Get the Rest of the World to Stop Hating Us. Also on Friday, Ducey will take part in a panel called Collaborating to Create Tomorrow's Global Economy, where he will discuss the governor's role in global economics. Ducey will be joined by governors and premiers from Canada and Mexico and will discuss Arizona's strong trade relationship with Mexico. Presumably, he'll also have a chance to apologize about that whole wall thing.
Yeah, that was pretty tacky. A federal judge upheld a law that Arizona's Libertarian Party says is a method to keep its candidates off of state ballots. U.S. District Judge David Campbell rejected arguments from the Libertarian Party over a law that increases the number of signatures required for third parties to get on the ballot. The law was instituted by state Republicans in 2015 and raised the number of signatures from as low as 133 for a Libertarian to 3,000. Since then, only one Libertarian has been able to get the new required number of signatures, despite there being about 32,000 members of the party in Arizona. In 2014, 1 year before the law was adopted, 18 members of the Libertarian Party were able to get on the ballot. The 2015 law revived a 2013 law that was repealed by voters and was passed with no Democratic support. Arizona Speaker of the House J.D. Menard acknowledged in 2013 that the law would make it more difficult for Libertarians to compete with Republicans the Iraq War. Prince is also the brother of Education Secretary Nancy DeVos. The two met with Bannon and Defense Secretary James Mattis on Saturday to discuss strategy in Afghanistan. Not surprisingly, the two businessmen urged a more privatized military force in the country, with contractors taking over major combat roles from U.S. soldiers. According to an official in the meeting, Mattis listened politely to their proposal but declined to include their ideas into his policy recommendations to National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. Critics seized on the news, pointing out the conflicts of interest between Prince and DeVos and the problems of having paid mercenaries fight in our wars. Private military contractors have been accused of being overly aggressive in foreign countries and lacking cultural knowledge in the places where they fight. It also bears mentioning that guys like Prince and Feinberg would get even more rich if the Trump administration were to accept their policy recommendations. Feinberg's DynCorp has already been paid $2.5 billion by the federal government for their work in Afghanistan. Along with private contractors, Feinberg suggested putting the CIA in charge of the Afghan war, which would subject the military to less oversight. This strategy has been called the Laos option because it's similar to how the CIA operated during the Vietnam War, and we all know how well that turned out. This was Luke Goodhart and Frank Powers for 5 on 20 News. But before we sign off today, Frank, you came in here with a bee buzzing around in your bonnet, and I think the people of creative Tucson land deserve to know what's up.
All right.
Can you tell us about it?
I will. So I noticed some things in the news today, and you might have as well. All right. So I wrote down some notes for something I'm going to talk about because this is kind of something we're going to talk about. It's a little off the top of my head. It's Net Neutrality Day. So you're a person, right? Statistics show that people use the internet. If you're one of such people, today is the day that you need to kind of get involved to save that internet, this internet that we all share and surf on. It's Net Neutrality Day. So 200 groups as big as basically Kickstarter, Etsy, Vimeo, Netflix, Pornhub, High Times, and even Google and Facebook. If you've been to any of these websites or any of the websites you usually go to today, you probably got a prompt talking about this thing, talking about what net neutrality is. And what it really is, real quick, is that a bunch of companies are really trying to take control of the internet. They want the right to control the speeds, what you see, what you get to see. Imagine you'd have to have a Prime membership just for the internet, just to see the sites you want to see. They're going to slow down our traffic, people, regular Joes like you and me, and they're going to speed up the ads. They're going to speed up the companies so you get those ads fast. Those will never not work when the power's going out or when the internet's slow. Those will always come through, but you won't be able to watch your YouTube videos. So they're really trying to take advantage, and that's the problem. A long time ago, we got free speech, right? And we're still hanging on to that. This is one of those things that is a historical point in our history because we have to keep fighting for the free speech of us being able to use the internet the way we want. People don't think that history gets made anymore. They think history happened. We are making history these days because there's a lot changing right now, but you need to get involved, and that's the problem. A lot of you, oh, it's apathy, is everyone doing it so I don't want to? That's my problem sometimes. It's a lot of things that stop us from just sometimes clicking 2 buttons that can change a lot, and today is one of those days. So I'm not going to tell you the websites to go find out because every website's talking about it. Just go do a Google search or a Yahoo search or go on Bing, any one of those fine sites, and do a search for net neutrality and Net Neutrality Day. Find out what it is. They're going to give you all the links and some of the phone numbers to call Congress, write to Congress. I wrote a letter today by clicking a couple buttons. The letter is already written. I just had to fill out some things. So I changed a couple of it to make it a little more punchy, and then sent my letter off to Congress today. It was a couple of clicks, it took a minute, and maybe it's going to make a difference because if we all do it, we will keep saving the internet. We've got to hang on to that thing right now because, again, there's a lot slipping through our fingers right now, and this is still one of these things where if you get involved just by clicking a little bit, things like Creative Tucson won't get stifled, things like all the stuff, KXCI and Brink, all that stuff, it's happening, and we don't want to get stifled and have it stopped or paused or delayed so that you can see a terrible ad from companies like Cox living up to their name. So yeah, go get involved. It's Net Neutrality Day. Go do something. Go be active. A little bit active. It's a call to action. How do you feel about call to action?
I feel great about a call to action. The internet is our medium.
Yes.
It belongs in the hands of the people, and if you give a damn about the stuff you like to watch or look up or flip through every day, then you need to get out there and make your voice heard because it is in peril.
That's right.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me do that. Heck yeah. Toot toot Tucson. Stay cool.
Stay cool, Tucson, and stay creative.